probably so, yeah. This is a meeting of the Southfield Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered as a community meeting. There is one opportunity for public participation during the meeting, and comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual. The board will listen to comments but may not respond during the meeting. If you wish to address the board, please submit a comment card immediately. Roll call, Ashanti Bland, Board President.
Good evening, Yvette Witherball, Vice President.
Good evening, Leslie Love Smith Thomas, Board Secretary.
Good evening, Talisha Belk, Board Treasurer.
Darrell B. Joyce, trustee.
Jillian Holloway, trustee.
Jennifer Green, Superintendent. Taking minutes this evening is Ms. Carolyn Foster, and our technical support is being provided by M1 Studios.
May we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Board matters. Trustees, are there any board matters this evening? Well, I have one. Happy last day of school, everybody! So glad we made it. Another thing, I just want to congratulate and give kudos to everyone who had their hand in the graduation ceremony this year. It was absolutely beautiful. To the building leaders, to the operations team, to all of central admin, to the caterer that did our lunch, mainly to the students and to the parents. Our students looked like scholars. Our parents were the consummate fan and cheerleader in that audience, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful experience. Thank you to Donna Stallings for always showing up and showing out for our students, and I hope that next year is even better. To all the fifth graders who are becoming sixth graders, congratulations. And to the middle school teachers, I am so, so sorry. Because those some moody little children. To all the eighth graders who are becoming ninth graders, welcome to high school. The work is beginning. Oh, and to all the little bitty kindergartners who are now first graders, have fun. And to our early learners who are now going to kindergarten, congratulations. We can't wait to see y'all. To the young people that participated in prom, they looked absolutely beautiful. I was so proud that we brought the classy and the regality back to stepping out for an evening. And thank you to our scholars for a very uneventful night. For them, I think it was just memorable. Nevertheless, I know we have multiple things coming up this week, but that was my main focus. Thank you so much to this district for bearing with us. It's been an interesting year. We pray that next year is so much better, and just we grow with you and not apart from you. Well, that was something. It's the last day of school. Y'all just excited. So now for the report of the superintendent.
Thank you, Board President. As we come before you every month, we generally recognize an employee of the month and we recognize partners of the month. This month being our last month of the school year and last day of school, we wanted to recognize two special, one in individual, one in organization, as our partners that have come before us every month. We met them in the parking lot, and they were walking around and they were praying over our school district and our young people for their safety, and they do it every month. So at this time, I would like to publicly acknowledge Evangelist Cheryl Stevenson. She'd like to
we go.
And while she's doing that, we should probably call up Generation to Generation Ministries as well, because it's a group effort.
So everybody under 5'7" goes to the front.
That's right. It's actually 5'5" and under. We're here Saturday if anybody wants to join us.
Not for this one, no. No. Wonderful. Thank you, Board and members of the community, for allowing us that moment. Next, we have our spring update from our owner's rep, Plant Moran Real Point. At this time, I welcome to the podium Ms. TJ.
Where's Dan? We must
Dan
be
is,
spending
Dan
any
is,
money.
we're not spending any money. Dan is in the back. Dan will come later when we spend money, but this is the update from Plant Moran. Ms. TJ.
Good evening.
And trustees, if I can set the stage, you receive updates from Plant Moran often. This is the larger report that you receive twice per year, once in the winter and once in the spring.
Right. So this is just an update of the progress that we've made since we came before you in December. So it will show you bid packs, design packages, et cetera, that we've worked on since then, things that are moving into construction, and just give some overall updates as to what we'll be working on over the summer. So I'll start with just a general bond overview, just to kind of remind everyone of the bond program itself. The bond that was passed in November of 2022, 5 key areas of the bond. First, to right-size the school district based on current student enrollment. Transitioning from neighborhood schools to educational pathways. Expanding the programming and facilities at both Southfield A&T and University Academy. Expanding the gifted and talented program, opportunities throughout the district for the scholars, and expanding the community use of the school facilities. The bond will be sold over 3 series. Series 1 was sold in spring of 2023. Our intent would be to sell Series 2 in the spring, possibly the fall of 2025, but during 2025. And the bond will take approximately 8 years for us to complete. This is just a shot of the ballot proposal language that was actually voted upon from the voters. Here's some highlights of general work that will be updated. So there's architectural updates, finish updates to the building, both interior and exterior, mechanical, so your heating, cooling, plumbing systems of the building, electrical, furniture and furnishings will be updated in the buildings, upgrades to security systems and improvements, site improvements to the playgrounds, general grounds, parking lots, things of that nature, and then roofs so that the buildings stay nice and dry. The next section is governance, which just talks to how we administer the program and make sure that there are some checks and balances. We developed that with the district's procurement policies and procedures with the assistance of the administration of the district. Overall, what that covers is the overall governance plan, how we handle contracts, change management process when there are items that need to come before the board for change, additions, limits of authorities, again, so that there's certain limits that require 1 signature, 2 signature, things of that nature. That's what that program covers. And then the vendor payment approval process is for all the multiple vendors, contractors, suppliers, how we manage to get them paid in a timely manner. These are just some snapshots of some of the items that were in the governance plan, and the board will remember that they saw that plan, pretty voluminous plan. I believe it was early fall that you saw that. Some of the workflows in terms of what our checks and balances are through the system to make sure that we're following those procedures. Next is the procurement. $345 million for a bond program. There are a lot of components and items that need to be purchased over the 8 years. And so what I've put together here is a list of professional services that we have under contract, strategies and considerations. So there are some state requirements for items that have to be bid. There are some things that can be open RFP, closed RFP, or can be negotiated. For those that aren't familiar with the lingo, RFP would be a request for proposal. Next is just a matrix of how we track all the contracts that are going underway. These are specifically for professional services. So you can see from that matrix that we've just about acquired all of the professional services that are required for the project. The exception would be that the smaller contractors or for the ongoing packages, those will continue. But all of the main components we have procured at this point. In terms of contractors and making sure that individuals are aware of how they can bid the work, bless you. Barton Mallow, our CM partner, has a contractor outreach page, and these are just some highlights from their page, and it lets individual firms know how they can go about contacting the school, getting involved, how to go about bidding on those packages. To make sure that we could reach out to smaller, local, minority, veteran-owned businesses, we conducted 2 vendor fairs. Those were conducted December 13th and March 6th. We had pretty decent attendance at both of those. What we covered there was a general overview of the district, introduction to procurement, procurement methods, what trade packages were coming up in the next 6 months, touched on supplier diversity and how they could go about being pre-qualified. That was a joint presentation between the district, Plant Moran, and Barton Mallow, RCM. Next is just some slides indicating some of the vendors and things that we've been able to solidify. In terms of program milestones, over the course of 2024-25, you can see these are bid packs that are listed, so the various projects that are going out from some upgrades to interior bleachers for safety concerns, et cetera. We had our swing space school, Eisenhower, working on Adler, the renovation of that. And so there's a whole list of different bid packs that are there, but the timelines that are there, I know a lot of times people don't see the progress right away. It's a rather lengthy process by the time you start from design through construction. So we just want to come and continue to bring those schedules so that people can see what the progress is over time, to see what we're working at. So those bars, the green bars, represent the overall design through construction of the projects. Next slide represents projects over since the last update, which was December, that we've been working on in design and programming. You can see it's a rather lengthy list. All of the bid packs that we brought before the board and you have approved, so these have all now been bid and award and will be going into various phases of construction. Some key planning activities, move management for those schools that are relocating. We've got Adler that will be moving from the swing space, Eisenhower back to its newly renovated facility on Fillmore. Stevenson will then move into Eisenhower to prepare for their renovation over the next school year. We've got 2 other schools that we have grades that are moving into other locations to prepare for the right sizing. In terms of construction planning and coordination, there's continual logistics planning and coordination that's going on, subcontractor planning and coordination, and then our various permitting and approvals for the projects. In terms of key planning activities, we've started visioning sessions with the architects that will be working on what we call new construction specialty renovations, which consist of the high schools and the community center. And so that architectural team consists of Fanning Howey and Dokes Associates. There's several other firms that are partnered with them too. It's a rather extensive firm focused on K-12 specifically, and these are the projects that they will contribute to the bond. It's a preliminary schedule, and they came and did a presentation, so just some highlights here from their presentation that was presented. And with the visioning sessions, the intent there is to make sure that the design team understands what the wishes, the direction of the board, the community, scholars, and the staff are. And so they meet with individual groups. They've started with that. That will continue on over the summer. They will continue meeting in the fall to capture those ideas. They'll put together what is going to be referred to as guiding principles to present to the board to make sure that everyone's in alignment and agreement with it as they move on into design. While they're specialists in K-12, they want to make sure that what they're providing is what the district and the community are interested in seeing for the growth and the education of the scholars. Next, we have some project progress photos. This is of the Adler renovation. These are a couple weeks old now, but there will be a grand opening for that school, but it is nearing completion, and so you can see that there's been replacement of windows, doors, there's a new roof. The old stone panels that had some asbestos and things of that nature have been replaced with metal panels. So quite an extensive renovation. The terrazzo floors are being restored. Courtyard has been cleaned up. New bright lockers, paint. I mean, pretty extensive renovation. New office, classrooms, bathrooms have been renovated as well. Here's two other projects that have been underway. Kennedy Learning Center, there was a replacement of the play area. The play equipment will actually be delivered this summer and installed. There's a walking track that has been included so that those scholars are able to enjoy the facility grounds as well. New paving, new parking lots. So that's the images that you see on the left. Bussey Early Education has received chiller replacement so that they can have cooling in that building for the little scholars. The next is some of the projects that we anticipate for 2025 and beyond. That list may expand depending on procurement strategies and how we go about delivering the project. So these are tentative timelines. What we do is continuously look to make sure that we're getting the best procurement, best pricing, et cetera, for the districts, and look at the timing, keep an idea on availability of materials, et cetera. So to that vein, we've even acquired mechanical units and things of that nature ahead of time, things that may be long lead items. So. We do regular financial updates with the district. We have monthly meetings with the district to do financial reconciliation. We also do quarterly dashboards. So quarterly dashboards gives a little bit deeper dive of what the financial picture looks like overall. The next slides talk a little bit about the move coordination services. And so as you see, we've got color-coded plans to the right of the diagram. So typically what we'll do is start with those plans, working with the administration and staff at the buildings to determine who's moving from what location to another location. There's professional movers that are hired. Currently we're working with Palmer Moving Services, and we help coordinate those moves. There are pre-move checklists for the faculty and staff to help them get their items packed up. We also have move-out checklists so that they can make sure that everything is in order. It's a combination of physical moving of the furniture, classroom materials, curriculum, with conjunction of Oakland schools and the technology equipment. So both of those are covered in those things. So there's a lot of that going on right now, and on the 17th there'll be quite a few Palmer trucks in the district helping to pack up things for the summer for these construction projects. There's a myriad of communication items that we have worked with the district's communication group with, the Plant Moran marketing team, district's marketing team, Barton Mallow, and our new architects, Fanning Howie's communications team will be furthering work with the districts on communication. So you may have seen 4x4 cards, brochures, Facebook banners. There's a lot of things out on social media now. We're getting into a regular cadence as the projects move along so that there'll be updates as to what's going on just to keep the community informed. So this is just to give folks a general idea what that looks like. So maybe as you become more familiar with it and you see this and you just take the time to kind of take a look at it. There's some interactive maps that highlight what work is going on at a particular location, what the approximated cost is. There's a frequently asked questions page as well. And again, quarterly dashboards get posted by the district. This is website updates that were done before and after pictures of Eisenhower Elementary School. We'll also put together before and afters of what we had at Adler, just so people can get an understanding of what the conditions were before and what they've come to now. So just trying to be as transparent as possible to let everyone see where the dollars are being spent, how they're being spent. We would just ask that everyone bear in mind, it's been a long time since the district's had a lot of love, so getting them as close to being perfect as possible, but a lot of work to go. This was a video that was done when Eisenhower was opened as a swing space. So. some of the social media items that one would see. And I think that brings it to a close. So just thank you for allowing the team to work to make Southfield's school district a better place.
The vendor list. Is there anywhere I could get an enlarged one? I can't really read that one.
Yeah, we can get you, I think Burton will get an updated list. We can also have them
It's also, you have a digital copy as well.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, you don't have one? Okay.
We'll make sure we read forward.
We might be able to see it well on that one, but we can get additional list.
Okay,
President.
appreciate
I'll
it.
try and update it as well from those that attended the vendor fairs.
Oh,
So.
okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
BP, one of the things that we wanted to discuss with the trustees was relative to summer programming. We know that the construction work has to continue in order to meet the deadlines as committed by this team. Therefore, we do seek guidance on how you wish for us to handle any bid packs that may come forward in the month of July, given that the trustees will not be in session for the month of July. The only one that we can really
Since they
think
anticipated
of,
right
yeah,
now would
is
be-
that of the roof for JWE. Other than that, we think that we have gotten ahead of all the other bid packs. So what would be the pleasure of the board? We could use the emergency process whereby I individually reach out to each trustee and then we bring that before you at the following meeting? Or do you want to pre-approve up to a certain amount?
Do you need this done this evening, just
We just
because we
wanted
have a
guidance.
study session?
Okay.
So
I was
I
gonna
would
say, I think
prefer
if
to
we
have a
we can think about
conversation
it.
about it.
Okay.
Exactly,
conversation.
for
Okay,
sure.
So we'll just put that on the table and then when we come back together.
But trustees, you've heard a couple of the options. Please consider them before the study session so we can come prepared to the study session to make a decision.
Sounds good.
And with
Board
that, we'll
President, I
also
just-
ask Barton Mallow to review again what they know is coming forward to see if there's anything that might be
Exactly.
outstanding.
We'll bring the
Yep.
whole list.
Appreciate it.
That was what I was
I
going
was,
to ask.
Yeah, we'll bring the list.
I'd just like to take the time to thank TJ. You not only come and present, but you stay for the whole meeting. In case we have any questions afterward, you've been extremely diligent. You're always thorough. You've been a huge support system. Thank you for putting up with this district. There's been a lot of bumps, but there's been a lot of progress, and I just want to acknowledge your leadership in making sure this project is going together seamlessly. So thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you. It's my job, but I'm also a taxpayer.
You are?
I've got 2 graduates from the district, so it's a labor of love, so.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Board President, that concludes the report of the superintendent.
Public participation. If you wish to address the board regarding a school-related issue that has not yet been resolved by school administration, please submit a comment card immediately. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual. As a matter of fairness, speakers with complaints against individuals are asked not to mention any persons by name. Complaints concerning employees pursuant to Board Policy 9130 should be brought to the attention of school principals or other administrators before coming to the Board of Education. Your cooperation is appreciated. Patrice Fails. And would you please state your address for the record? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my name is Patrice. My address is 20194 Steel Street, Detroit, Michigan, 48235. My name is Patrice. I'm a social worker, and I also have a child that attends, I won't say the school, but it's in Southfield. So as a form of punishment, my son was placed inside of a closet. My son had got in trouble at school. He got into an altercation with another student. My son wasn't hurt or anything, but they wanted to separate the children. So my son was placed in a closet, which to me, when I walked in the office, it looks like a storage closet. It looks like a jail bed is in there, and it was a chair in there, and my son was like in the middle. And I just thought that was inappropriate. So I told office staff that was inappropriate. I don't ever want my son in there again. And they told me, I was coming from work, so it took me an hour and a half to get there. She told me, well, since I picked up my son so late, that's why he was in there so long. And I told her that's not an excuse. I don't want him ever in there. And no, and throughout all this, I was upset, but I wasn't angry. I just really wanted to hear it'll never happen again. He'll never be placed in there. But I never heard that. And I was, so I left. I went to my car. I came back inside the school. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk to the principal, because I asked for him, and they was like, well, he's not here. So I thought he was in the back, because they was having a field day. So I went to the back of the school, and Chase was like, well, Mr. Levick is not there. They're packing up. So I said, I'm gonna go back in the front, and go back in the school. And I said, I gotta speak to Mr. Levick and tell him about this. So I spoke to him. I told him his office staff was real rude to me, and nothing was done about it. I don't know how to file a formal complaint, but it's unacceptable for him to be placed in that closet. So that's my comment. And I also want to know, will anything be done about this?
You gotta give me a minute.
Okay.
Don't leave. Don't leave. I just need a minute to gather myself,
Okay.
because I know how I would feel if I found out my child was in a closet. On behalf of Southfield Public Schools, you have our full apology. That's not how we operate. That's not a process of discipline, nor is it ever acceptable. We have restorative circles. There are multiple classrooms in any building, I don't care which one it is, where you can leave one student and put another student in the office. So anything other than that is unacceptable. Secondly, it's a shame you had to come here to get resolution. I don't know what, if any, excuse would ever be tolerable. I can't think of one. What I will say is that the superintendent informed me that she also spoke with you because she did not know about this. There will be a full investigation to this. Is this your baby?
That's him, yes.
It doesn't matter what you did, you didn't deserve to be put in a closet. Do you understand that? Okay. Because you are more than to be put in a closet. You understand that? You are a young scholar. That is not acceptable. You are welcome.
And that's what I also told my baby, because he thought just because he wasn't harmed in that closet that he was okay. But
You
I
are
told
not
Chase
okay.
that's not acceptable.
So I will ask for the superintendent and her team to do a full investigation. Again, you have our full and deepest apologies.
Thank you.
Nobody on this panel would play that about any of our kids. So I appreciate you being as calm as you are, because I know what I want to do right now. So thank you for lifting this. Again, I am truly sorry, and it will never happen again.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Board President?
Yes, ma'am.
Having learned of this this evening, I've already reached out to legal counsel, and we have launched the investigation.
Let me say this, and will you give me a moment, trustees? Last time I was here, I said, I'm growing weary of the garbage, and I know many of our administrators, teachers, paras watch this live. So let me say to whoever made the decision to put him in that closet, you and I need to talk. It's unacceptable. This is not Southfield Public Schools. I went here a long time, and Mike Horn was my principal. He did a lot of things, but he would not put a child in a closet. He would call your parents and have your parents come put you and the other child together before he would do anything so disrespectful. So to hear this, it disrespects the legacy of this district, and y'all gotta cut it out. If you don't want to service children, get another profession. This is not what we do. Fix yourselves before you try fixing our future. Understand, the reason children resolve to certain things is because they're led by example. If we are not a good example, then what are we doing here? See yourself out. I mean, at this point, what are we doing? I'm really... And Dr. Jennifer Green is the superintendent. It is a huge disrespect for something like this to happen and the superintendent doesn't know. Until she's not the superintendent, there's a process. Follow it. Because in a minute, I'm going to tell y'all to forego her and come straight to us. And I'm not friendly when it comes to hurting children. Number 2, public participation. If you're going to come up here and surprise me, please let me know now.
I'm sorry, Board President. I know
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
not in proper order, but I would like the young man to come if his mother's okay with it and if he has anything to say on his own behalf for how he was treated.
No, he's good.
Okay, all right. Okay. Not about the statement, but just so that he knows that he can affirm himself.
He did, and
Okay. Very good.
he's very articulate young man.
Marie Banks, I know your address by heart, but come on up.
Okay, Marie Banks, I always get shocked every time I stand up here sometime. Marie Banks, 29506 Andover Boulevard, Farmington Hills, Michigan. Stand before you, I always stand here and I make it my business to stand before you with positive information. So I'm gonna start with that. My 2 daughters are here. And not because I made them come. I really wanted them to go home with my mother. They said, no, I wanna come. I want to see what's going on in my school district. And what I want to say is, as parents, we got to be that example. We have to be the example. We're about to embark on a year that's going to be unprecedented. And the conversations we have with our children when they come home every day is going to dictate the success. Not these people, we are going to dictate the success. The conversations that we talk about the administration, the conversations that we talk about the board members, we got to be positive. We have to set the tone. As we embark on a unification of university and MacArthur, we got to love it. We got to have a growth mindset. We got to set the standard for our kids. We can't focus on who don't get along and who might fight. And we need to focus on, we got 2 powerhouses becoming one. So I ask all the parents, I stand before you today as a parent, as Kristen and Lauren's mom. Watch our conversations. Be positive. Speak life into the situations here at Southfield Public Schools. Understand the blessing that is in Southfield Public Schools. Understand that. We are blessed. My daughter has taken 6 AP classes in 2 years. Show me what school district she could do that in. Show me what school district she could walk in and say, I want to take 4 more next year. She has a 4.6 GPA because it's an opportunity given, because it's an expectation given. My youngest daughter spent 3 years at MacArthur. I'm teaching her, those are still your friends, and they about to become your real good girlfriends once again, because we're all together. So any negative conversation about any unification, hang up the phone. Stop the conversation at your house. And when we have a new building leader, do the same. Even when she make a mistake, show some grace, the same grace that we have every day. So I stand before you, and I got 22 seconds. The previous building leader did my family. I'm not standing here as a PTA person. I'm standing as Kristen Lawrence's mom. He was good to us. He was good to some people. I wish him well. I wish the new person that's coming in, I wish her well, because when she does well, we all do well. Over the summer, watch our conversations, parents. Watch it.
Dave. Mr. Rather. Have a good evening, Dave Rather, and thank you for that, Ms. Banks.
Evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Dave Rather, 17305 West 11 Mile Road. I'm a proud Southfield secondary social studies teacher for over 24 years in the district. I also have the distinct pleasure of being the union president for the wonderful teachers of Southfield. And in my time in the district, including when I took over as president in 2016, I've been moved quite a bit in buildings, from building to another building, including, like I said, in 2016 with the big move, closures of like Brace Letterly, the merger of the high schools and that, in which we tried to do in 6 months. Needless to say, that didn't go so well, and there's still some scars to it. So last week, when we got word of the changes to the plan for Vandenberg to move over to Thompson and entirely, I understood the staff's confusion, frustration, anger. And again, it stems not from that decision, but from, because we understand construction, there's going to be changes in that, but just everything that was leading up to that. Just not getting information, people feeling like their voices weren't heard. So last Tuesday, when I started thinking about what I was going to say tonight, it was a very different message that I'm going to be talking about tonight, and I'm happy to say that, to be honest with you. Since last Tuesday, we've had conversations almost every day with the district about this. We took time from bargaining to talk about it, to work it out. Thursday, even at graduation, and it continued this week. So I'm happy to say that from what I'm hearing from the building, things are better and trending in the right direction with the staff. And I want to give not only a shout out to those that have been working with me, but also to Principal Eubanks, because I understand she was real good on listening to the staff and helping them feel heard, because that's ultimately what it comes down to, and and just respecting their time and them as professionals with this. As I said, we know that there's going to be bumps in this process. We supported the bond, but seeing I'm running out of time, I'll have to move a little quicker. I apologize. Ultimately, what I'm getting to is this. I think we've built some good momentum this past week, and I'm hoping for that to move forward and continue. I don't want to fall back into old habits. I've seen too many times it happened in the district. And I'll ask and bring it to this forum, as I've talked to everyone with the district as well, leadership. We still feel there should be committees of staff for all these buildings, representing these buildings, whether they're moving, whether there's construction, just so that they can bring perspectives and ideas that we can't all think of because we're not in their shoes. On my end, I know for my part, first thing tomorrow, I'm going to be asking my members to come forward and volunteer that time so that they can bring their voices when necessary, and I would expect that the district would honor those voices when the time comes. Because I believe together we will be better. We have to be better, not only for the kids, for the staff, the district, the community, and everything. So again, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Mr. Rather. Ms. Moonsmith. It's a PTA party? It's a whole PTA party. Y'all deep, huh? Will you state your address for the
Yes,
record,
good
please?
evening. 18177 Sunnybrook Avenue in Lathrop Village, Michigan.
Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Green. Good evening, everyone. I come with positivity. June is Black Music Month. It was started in 1979 by then President Jimmy Carter. So today's music, and this is the 45th year, today's music that's played on the radio that our scholars are listening to, I find it to be very negative. So it's time to put a spin on music. And so today's music needs to be changed, and I'm here to help the district change that. During the 1970s, a new brand of pop music was born, one that was steeped in African-American styles, particularly jazz and R&B, would appeal to a broader cross-section of the African-American styles, particularly jazz and R&B. As founding group of Earth, Wind, and Fire, Maurice White was a reckon to deal with. December 1941, he was born in Memphis, Tennessee. He said, "Let music be our medicine, universal love and harmony, without force-feeding listeners, spiritual content, So it's time to bring positivity back. What I propose is Earth, Wind, and Fire Day for Southfield Public School District every September 21st, a celebration of our music, a celebration of the beauty of our people, the beauty that created a legacy of Black music, the mighty Earth, Wind, and Fire. So this September 21st falls on a Friday. What does that look like? It looks like music being played throughout our schools, teachers and staff dressing up as Earth, Wind, and Fire, award-winning bands, our award-winning bands playing Earth, Wind, and Fire music, choirs singing it, cheerleaders cheering. Each school can participate and bring positivity back to the music, our legacy during Black Music Month. This is our 45th year, and I would like for you all to vote on that. Thank you.
Action items. Report 62-125, Bus Garage Environmental Cleanup, ARC Environmental Group, Capital Projects Fund.
Thank you, Board President. Joining us this evening at the podium will be Mr. Joe Corris and the young ladies from Arch Environmental that were before you 2 weeks ago at the study session to bring you an update before you vote.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, Mr. Corris.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Tonight, we're actually asking you to approve the submittal of the final assessment report to the State of Michigan EPA, which is EGLE. And we have to do that on or before the 16th of June, just in a couple of days. We presented to you the program for remediation, what our intent is, how we will be injecting a compound into affected areas around the bus garage. This compound will break down any of the petroleum impacted soil that's there and will allow us to be in compliant with parts 201 and 213 of the Michigan Code. So we went through the economics with you last meeting. The total for parts 201 and 213 would be up to $530,000, with up to $200,000 of that reimbursable from MUSTA funds. I have put $200,000 aside in the budget this year, and Mark and I have discussed the monies coming from the Capital School Projects Fund for this activity. We have the representatives here from Arch Environmental tonight. If there's any other questions with what needs to be done and when we'll do it.
I know that Trustee Holloway has a few questions. Trustee Smith-Thomas, I'll let her ask hers first so you can have a conversation with Arch.
Board President, could we take a 5-minute recess?
5-minute recess?
Yes.
Trustee. Recess is over. Would everybody please take your seats? Is there a motion to open and approve?
I'm sorry, Board President, I still.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead, open and approve.
So
It's a
we
part
can
of
have discussion?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is there a motion to open and approve report 62-125?
Second?
It's been properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion regarding report 62-125? Yes, ma'am?
Yes. I had a question as it relates to the frequently asked questions. Where do we land on having that on the website or having that information available for the community?
Make it available, certainly. Yeah, we certainly can make that available.
We will have that posted on the website. We did get some information back today that I did forward to the trustees regarding the actual chemical that will be injected. We'll make sure that we get that posted to our website as well for all to see.
Okay, thank you. And did we personally reach out to that community, that neighborhood association?
So the approval this evening is to submit the plan to the state, and then we have to see if the state sees it as a viable option. While the state is reviewing the application, we will schedule the community meetings to ensure that we keep them abreast of everything. So we've not had time between the last meeting and this meeting to schedule meetings with the community because we don't know if the state is going to approve it as a viable option first.
All right, very good.
Through the chair.
Yes.
You guys mentioned the 200K reimbursable and then the capital budget fund, finding the additional money. Is that true? And we'll be able to fully fund that out of that budget?
Yes.
That fund, okay, perfect, thank you.
Through the chair. I did a cursory search of the Arch Company on Google. I would like to ask that the president, the superintendent do a FOIA on the company. I would like to see if there are any citations. If so, what are they?
That's not a problem. I mean, we've been in business for over 25 years. I've been personally there for 20 years. And I don't believe we've had any citations in that time, and we've typically been brought into districts to get them out of trouble. That's typically what we do as a company. And if there's anything specific, I mean, that would not be an issue.
Thank you. Trustee Holloway, we will take that under advisement in the documentation you have to share with me. I will take that and follow up with you and work with the board president on that piece as well.
Thank you.
So as you all know, and Trustee Smith-Thomas did lift it, my only request was that we ensure that the community is aware and has full knowledge of, all those frequently asked questions that might come up because of this. And so if we can get that information on the website before anything takes place, that is my ask. I don't want it to happen in tandem with or after. It should happen before. So if there are any questions, we can get the community an opportunity to hear directly from you about what this process is, because we're not the SMEs, right? And so that is my biggest concern regarding this. I know it has to be done. My biggest concern is that our community is put in the forefront and they know what is happening because this is their school district. So that would be my ask. Trustees, is there anything else for discussion? Hearing none. Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Ware-Duval.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Joyce.
Yes.
Trustee Holloway.
No,
Please give your reason.
I would like to see a FOIA done on the Arch Company.
Trustee Bland?
Yes,
Trustee Belk?
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you, Board.
5 yes.
I'm
one-
sorry, I thought you were, I apologize.
5 yes, 1 no.
Motion is carried. Thank you. Food service RFP, food service fund.
Why do the school district have to pay for that? And that's an environmental issue.
Oh, I'm sorry, point of order. You will have to go to public participation. And that's gonna be next time, because we already have, yes, ma'am. But I appreciate your concern.
And Mr. Kors can, if she wants to step out and speak with Mr. Kors.
And he is outside, yep. You're welcome.
So I can speak to it.
So food, we don't have that report. Report 62-126, food service RFP, food service fund.
Thank you, Board President. During our last meeting, we brought forward a request for the board to approve the RFP for food service. At that meeting, the trustees asked that we go back and survey our scholars as to their satisfaction. We did just that. You received the results of that survey. And to our scholars' credit, at this point in the year, with survey fatigue, we still had over 600-plus scholars complete the survey. So that is pretty significant for this time of year. That being said, it did cause us to pause and to reconsider our original request. We are not asking that you approve the food service for an extended contract. However, we are asking that we have the current vendor stay with us for 60 days to carry us through summer school and give them the opportunity to correct some of the concerns lifted by our scholars. Simultaneous to that 60 days will be an opportunity for us to go back out to RFP in the event that our current provider is unable to make the necessary modifications. So we will be running parallel tracks. Our request on this evening is that we extend the contract for 60 days to carry us through the summer program.
So, as a point of clarity, Board Secretary, please address the board.
We need to open the report, please.
If the report is not available to be reviewed at this moment, then we will table Report 62-126 until the study session. Trustees, is there any objection?
Board President, I do, only because of the time sensitivity.
I understand.
Sensitivity of it. I do appreciate, and I will reference, if it's okay with you, Board President.
Please.
We did receive an email, which gave detail to the information that Dr. Green, just stated. However, and that email came, oh goodness, it was just in front of me. But we did receive that email. We do not have this report. And my concern with tabling this item would be based on our summer schooling.
Your recommendation?
starting. My recommendation would be to move forward with the recommendation as stated with the 60 days. And I do also want to commend the the superintendent and her team for taking our remarks during our study session and moving forward with a different process.
Understood. Trustees?
Please explain that again. What are we supposed to be doing here?
So
Explain it again.
the physical report, we do not have. We have some of the information. Dr. Green explained what is there, but we can't open the actual report, meaning we can't open and approve 62-126 without having it. But because of the timing of this, we would need to make a motion to actually just approve what Dr. Green just said about the 60-day contract. Is that fair?
Yes.
The
Okay.
email was sent on June 10th, along with the results from the surveys, as was just mentioned.
So we're going to approve or disapprove the 60-day contract.
Right, we're either gonna vote it up or vote it down, pretty much. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay.
We can move forward. Mistakes happen.
Is there a motion on the floor?
Board
Yes, sir.
President. So what you're saying is that on June the 25th, we'll be having more discussion on this?
Well, because of the timing, we will need to move because this will impact summer school. That's what Trustee Smith Thomas was saying. As a parliamentarian point, we technically can't open report 62-126. We would need another motion to open and approve Dr. Green's recommendation, more so of the
They're in
report.
the report number.
Correct.
Trustees, it's actually in the electronic packet that Ms. Foster sent. What page number is that? Page 3 of the agenda.
I've been looking.
Okay.
I have credit recovery.
Yeah, I have.
I have credit recovery as well.
I think
And
when you
then
pulled
BUS-C.
out some of the pieces from the agenda, you didn't send the updated agenda. Can you forward that to all the trustees as we speak?
I have credit recovery, and then it goes into the BUS-C report.
Could you please
All
send
right,
that?
mistakes happen. If she has it, Board
She
President, let's
does
move to
have the
next
report,
item
and then we can come
and come
back.
back to it.
Yeah.
Moving forward, report 62-127, personnel action report.
And that one is in the packet.
Yeah, I
Correct?
saw it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, excellent.
So while everyone is reviewing the personnel action report, Dr. Green, there are a couple of things that are coming upon us. We have spoken about right of assignments at this table before and some other things. Would you please update us on where we are with those particular items?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Board President. At this time, with the closing of the school year, and if the personnel action report is approved, we will have a new person designated for the dean of our K-12 academy. That individual happens to be here in the audience tonight. So, Ms. Bolden, if you would like to stand and be acknowledged by our community and by our trustees, she is on the agenda for approval this evening.
Good evening, everyone. Good
Good
evening, Board.
evening.
Dr.
Let me commend you on your fortitude.
Thank you.
This was not an easy process, and this is not an easy district to marry into. We have some interesting mother-in-laws. And, you know, I really can say that you have been a consummate professional during this. You've had the patience of Job. And if for nothing else, those 3 reasons, your fortitude, your patience, and your professionalism, I wish you good fortune. I hope that you move forward enthused. Please don't allow any of the background noise to get in the way of your goal and your mission, and that is to serve children.
Yes, correct. Absolutely
We
right.
need a good leader. We need one that will stand strong, but also be a confidant to our children when they feel like they can't go to certain people. We need someone to lead our staff but not just to dictate, but to listen and to guide and to develop. We need a coach and we need a team player. I am going to ask you if you are up to the task. I've asked people that before at this podium, and they told me yes. And quite frankly, I've been disappointed, and the community has disappointed. I want you to know this will not be an easy feat, but it will be worthwhile. Our children are amazing. Our staff members are amazing. They're loyal, they're dedicated, they're hardworking. They're going to give you everything you give them, but they're going to match your energy. So whatever you put out there, it's going to have to be good.
Yes.
I like to encourage you. I like to let you know that this board supports you because we support all our staff, especially the ones that do right by our children. So I just wanted to give you this opportunity, number one, for us to say thank you. And number two, I do want to know, are you up to the task?
I am definitely up for the task. That's why I'm here tonight. This is moving into my 25th year of serving children and families. I've never taken it lightly ever since my mother forced me into the space and didn't know that it was going to be the perfect position for me. I've always put students first. I've always supported my staff, and I plan on doing nothing different here. I don't want to steal any more of the spotlight because I've watched your board meetings and I love the portions that you guys spotlight kids, and I plan on bringing you plenty of spotlights for the upcoming year. To all the parents that are in here, my family that's here, my folks that have worked for me and my friends, they know that when I'm on a mission to serve kids, I'm on a mission to serve kids. And so, yes, so thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity to do it again.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Green. Thank you.
That being said, trustees, once the personnel action report is approved, we will work with SASA leadership to ensure that we are meeting the requirements of the right of assignment and having those conversations with the staff to honor their requests to move about the district. So within the next week, you will be hearing more from central office regarding those positions.
Trustees, is there anything else regarding the talent management personnel action report? I called it like 3, 4
Chair.
things. Yes, ma'am.
I have just a quick question. Number 6,
Yes. So number 6 is the one we spoke of at the study session, whereby our person that was in that position took on a municipal position.
okay.
And this is an internal promotion of someone that was in our grants department that has now moved into that position.
Okay, one more, number 7.
That person has accepted to move in another direction.
Perfect. And I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
You good? Okay. Trustees? Thank you. It's been properly moved and supported. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, please call for the vote.
Trustee Belk?
Yes.
Trustee Bland?
Yes.
Trustee Holloway?
Yes?
Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Wirdaba? Yes. Unanimous.
Motion carried. Congratulations, Ms. Bowles.
Congratulations.
Got some personal things at stake.
Board President, if we can go back to the food service RFP, it was on page 8 of the original board packet that you received. It is on page 3 of the newest board packet that you received, so you did receive it. Yes. Is that what you just said? It was page 8, that's what you said, page 8, Ms. Foster. Got a lot of packets going around today. So which page is it on the current packet that you just sent out?
This is the one that y'all were talking about, but that is, me find it. Go ahead, move on.
As you're going, we are going to go to information items. Report 62-128, Bussy Administrative and Management Team Retention Incentive Grant Funds. Trustees, let me say a couple of things about this one. This is, this is some retroactive payments to those who were told they were going to receive something and never did. I am going to ask if we make this item actionable this evening so that we can make some people whole. So trustee 62-128 will make those whole that never received this payment, and they should receive the payment once, on the next paycheck if we approve it. Thank you. It's been properly moved and supported. Is there any other discussion? I know my board secretary, and
It
she
did go
reading and
before,
watching.
and it did go before
It did go before us.
Policy Council
Oh,
and Policy
wonderful.
Council.
Okay, that I want to know. I'm also looking at, there's not an alignment of this report.
So there
The
was.
packet 62-129, there's an action here that eventually we'll have to, it's for information tonight, eventually we'll have to
Wait,
vote on
129 or 128?
129 in our
I think-
electronic
Yeah,
packet.
so there was a revised packet sent out. There were several items removed from the agenda this evening.
And we're on 128.
Right, so my concern though is that this action here speaks to a reduction. And I'm
That is why
concerned
it was
about,
removed. That's why it was removed, because I have a conversation with Region 5 to discuss the matter.
okay, so then I'll say this. Funding. I want to ensure that no action that we take regarding the program becomes a financial,
Detriment.
no, because I don't want to use that type of language, that any decisions we make regarding this program can be upheld within the grant funds of that program.
Yes, that is why this is the only item on the revised agenda relative to that program. All other items have been pulled from the agenda this evening until my follow-up conversation.
Okay, so which email do you want me to look at for packets? Because this
Did you just forward
is
the most
different.
recent?
This has that report in it.
So you should have a most recent packet, and you should have the information on the agenda in your binder.
So this information is not in the binder.
It's not in the
It's not in the
binder.
binder.
Is it in the packet that you just
128.
forwarded?
Okay,
Yes,
The packet that you just forwarded just now?
so we'll open that one up,
Okay.
and we'll look at
I
128.
just want to be, I just want to be sure. I don't want to vote on one item and then it ends up having some type of domino impact.
This will
on
not
another.
have a domino effect on the other items.
So 128 is on page 13.
Yes.
128 is
Administrative and management team retention incentive.
a strategic objective. So this incentive is supported by, initiative is supported by grant funds, has no impact to the general fund. The impact amount is the incentive for 3 staff members at $3,000. The early childhood education field is experiencing a considerable shortage of educators. Programs are competing for common pool of educational staff, offering early childhood administrative and management staff a targeted financial incentive outside of their regular salary and will support them as we navigate the changing early childhood landscape. So basically, this is, this is a $9,000 impact to 3 people who were owed it. And we are on page 13, correct? And the rest of those, so please refer to what was just sent out, because those other ones were pulled. They do need further.
Further
Yeah,
review.
they need further review. Thank you for that. That's why you're the board secretary.
Thank you, Board President.
Listen, keep us in line. So we have, report 62-128. I am requesting that it is made actionable. Originally, trustee Joyce made the motion and trustee Weldeval supported it. Does that stand, board secretary?
Was there a motion to make it actionable or to open and approve?
It should be to open and approve it. Is that correct?
I see. Okay.
Wonderful. Is there any discussion surrounding 62-128? Hearing none, Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Wedewa? Yes. Myself, yes. Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Trustee Holloway? Yes. Trustee Bland?
Yes.
Trustee Belk?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Now can we go back up to food service?
62-129, Professional Security Service, RFP. Mr. Jackson, that is you.
Can we go back to food
Oh,
service?
we going back to, we'll let Mr. Jackson go in there. Food service, we'll come back to y'all after we got our lives together.
Well, good evening. Board President, members of the board, Superintendent Green. I am Chief of Staff for the school district, and I am here to talk about the RFP for our security services. As most folks will know, security and emergency operations falls under my purview. And so the current contract that we have with DM Burr is due to expire at the end of this month. And we made a decision to go back out for an RFP. We went through the formal process. We had 4 companies that submitted their bids. We went through the review process of their proposals. We had a committee that was comprised of myself as well as building leaders, because the building leaders they see what happens on the ground every day with security in our buildings, and from the high school and from all levels. From the high school level, we had representation on the committee from the K-8 level as well as K-5. So we were able to get all of those different perspectives as we reviewed the packets. As we looked through the packets, and our current security firm was one of the bidders, and in looking through the packets and evaluating them, we came to the decision that we are recommending to the board that we renew our contract with DM Burr. And there are a couple of key factors that play into that. One of the issues that we wanted to address was the cost of security. And the proposal that they submitted addressed that and actually lowered the actual cost to the district by doing some restructuring of how the staffing shifts are done. One of the things that was killing us was overtime, because we had we required security for a lot of after-school events, a lot of our sporting events and things that went into the evening. And because of that fact, we did not have in our previous contract a structure that covered that outside of paying overtime. And so DM Burr was able to address that, and the coverage, the way that they've aligned the coverage in the proposal, works better from a coverage perspective, but also financially. The other issue, one of the other things that we were keyed in on was the training, and making sure that our officers not only got an initial training by the company, but were also had recurring training that was provided by DM Burr. And that training is on conflict resolution. It is on how to engage and de-escalate a situation, as well as other things that are required. And so as we looked at all of those aspects, the committee was unanimous in their recommendation of renewing the contract with DM Burr.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned the overtime and the trainings as having come out as 2 of the main issues. How will this be monitored along the way, particularly as it relates to the overtime?
Absolutely. So the way that it was structured before, the previous contract, it required us to pay overtime because of because of the fact that we were requiring security for all of these late evening events, basketball games, football games, all of those things, concerts, things like that. And so the new proposal actually breaks the security team into shifts. So there's a shift that will start first thing in the morning, then there's a shift that comes on at 11. And they will work a little bit later under their normal hours. And so that will automatically cut down the amount of overtime that we're charged.
So, as you know, Mr. Jackson, and I see Officer Carruthers here, I frequently stop by.
And we also have Mark Lankos?
Yes, sir.
Yep, from DMBR also to answer any questions.
Okay, I frequently stop by A&T. One of my biggest complaints, and I'm just gonna be as honest as I can be, we gotta get better with who we let through those doors. We really do. I was mistaken for a child, and then I wasn't, but no one asked me who I was, and I walked right in the office. And so in this day and time, my ask would be that we would be more intentional about the security of that school. That front door is everything. Until this bond is done and we have the doors and the vestibules that will keep our children safe from harm, everyone is subject to being asked, who are you, at the least. Secondly, and I have consulted with the superintendent about this, the dress code. I've walked in that school multiple times, and I recognize that the staff and the building leadership should be enforcing the dress code, but I also recognize that sometimes some of the students are bigger than the staff. And it gets rough to enforce a dress code, God bless you, at times, and sometimes security is needed in tandem, right? But my ask would be this. If your security sees someone who is completely out of dress code, and what I mean by that, for the audience and to the staff, our young ladies know good and well that boy shorts are out of dress code. Crop tops are out of dress code, right? As Dr. Green is calling it, mid-drifts.
Just saying.
So all of these things are obviously out of dress code. And what I would ask is that your staff be a little more helpful in helping us enforce it. Because sometimes our staff does feel uncomfortable, but to know that we have the backing of security to say, hey, I got a student out of dress code, would you walk over here with me, right? This is what's needed. And so upon approval of this, if it's approved, that's my ask, right? You're our partners, and we're trying to secure a building with football players, basketball players, volleyball players, sometimes kids that don't want to be talked to and look at us as the enemy. We need things enforced for the safety of not only the school, but the community. And if that's not something that this company is willing to do, then I won't support this company. Thank you.
The chair.
Yes, ma'am.
As board president just mentioned how we want to have partners in our school, especially as it relates to working with our children. But I need to stress to our parents how important it is that you understand what happens in a school and what your child looks like when they're walking out the door. Granted, they sneak a shirt, some shorts, change in the restroom. But when these things happen and are addressed at the school level, please give grace to those that are trying to add some decorum, respect, and professionalism to the building. It was mentioned that we have some teachers that may be a little embarrassed when our girls are walking around with midriff, crop tops, and things hanging out. Please, let's not put our professional teachers in those situations. And then we have parents who are out of situations and feeling some kind of funny way. So we need to do this as a village. Thank you.
Our superintendent has asked that this particular report be made actionable if it is the wish of this board. And I'm assuming you're asking for us to move forward on this now so we can put the proper training in place, have the summer to do certain things, hire the right people, things of that nature. Is that correct?
That is correct. Also, given that we have approximately 800 scholars that will be with us this summer for summer
Sure.
programming. So we're really excited about that. They will be back next week already. Next week.
Trustees, is it the wish of the board that this, this report 62-129, be open and approved?
Support.
It's been properly moved and supported. Is there any other discussion surrounding this? Hearing none. Board Secretary, whenever you're ready, please call for the vote.
Trustee Belk?
Yes.
Trustee Bland?
Yes.
Trustee Holloway?
Yes.
Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Ware Yes. Unanimous.
Motion carried. Y'all never know when I'ma pop up at that school. You're welcome.
Any day that ends in Y.
Any day that ends in Y.
That's right. Okay, BP, if we can go
We're gonna
back
go back.
to 62-126.
What page is it on?
It's on page 3.
Okay.
3. Okay, Ms. Foster, don't
Okay.
say, is it 3? Now it's 10? Oh, Ms. Foster.
It's 10,
Oh,
okay.
it's been a long school year. It's page 10, trustees.
It is page 10, but
Okay.
I'm just saying, I don't know why.
Okay, Ms. Foster, page 10.
We got
Trustees,
you,
page
Ms.
10.
Foster. You
All
work
right.
hard. You work hard. We got
We
you.
just signed her vacation document. We're gonna give her some rest.
I'm still calling her.
Yes, it's
What she
page 10.
doing? So we have action item, report 62-126, food service RFP. So, this would have
It would be a
Is-
60-day extension of their current contract.
60-day extension of their current contract that is currently for the fiscal year 25 would be approximately 2.8 million if we decided to move forward. Is that correct? I just want to make it clear for
Yeah.
anyone who's looking at this
Yeah,
packet.
that would be if we were granting a full
Full.
year of the contract.
So
We
I-
are only doing a 2-month of that.
And
It
that's
will be
why I
prorated.
wanted to make it clear, we're not paying $2.8 million for 2 months. I just
It will be prorated.
want clarity. So, with that being said, trustees, is there a motion on the floor to open and approve report 62-126?
Support.
It's been properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Belk?
Yes.
Trustee Bland?
Yes.
Trustee Holloway?
Yes.
Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Ware
Yes.
Unanimous.
Motion carried. Thank you. Now, where am I going back? Oh, is this Mr. Jackson again? Is he still in here? 62-130. Oh, this
That
is
is not
third-party
Mr.
employment.
Jackson.
Okay.
Yes.
62-130, third-party employment and payroll services RFP Head Start funds.
That would be me this evening.
Oh, hello.
That would be me, Board President.
Okay, gotcha.
The team met several times to interview third-party providers for the support of our early childhood programming, and per the discussions we've had, all things being equal, we determined that it is not in our best interest to go with another provider at this time. It's in our best interest to retain the staff, the talent that we have, and to work diligently to fill the other classrooms and get all of our classrooms open this summer. That is going to be our focus versus that of trying to transition to another service at this time.
So trustees, I'm going to ask that we do not open and approve this. And I'm gonna tell you why. Busy has been an issue. And I would like to hear more about this plan. I keep hearing about the plan. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything implemented or executed, and it worries me. So I'm not comfortable at this time making this an action item. I would like the other pieces of Head Start brought to us, and I'd like for us to be able to discuss it a little bit more where we can have real discussion surrounding the future of Bussy and Head Start.
Sounds good, and those pieces I'll be bringing back to you after my meeting with Region 5.
Thank you.
I agree, and I would just want to add to the conversation as it relates to third-party employment, that we find a way, especially as it relates to this program, to marry the policies, procedures, and the vision and policies and procedures of Southfield Public Schools so that we can address many of the concerns that have come before the board.
And also to your point, Trustee Smith-Thomas, you lifted P20 in our retreat, and that is one of the things that Dr. Green said that she would like to include in this. So I would like to commend you on remembering our asks, even so late in the game, so that we are trying to make sure that we are preparing for the future and have that real pipeline for our little people to matriculate all the way through. So I appreciate you guys respecting the fact that we're going to leave this as an information item. Dr. Green, you will have that information available for before?
The 26th. We want to make sure we have it before June 30th.
For sure.
To ensure that we don't have a break in service with our youngest scholars. And also to your comment regarding the P20, I did send a document a few months ago regarding the early childhood piece, and I am working with Oakland schools as well on that. So that is still at the forefront of my mind to make sure that we carry through.
Thank you. Report 6231. Now, this is James.
It is. Well, for
Southfield
technology.
A&T. Oh, yeah, Wes.
Wes is here.
This is
Yeah,
everybody.
it's actually Wes.
Okay, this is Wes. Southfield A&T, two-way communicators and repeaters, section 31AA.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As we continue to look at ways to improve safety and security, we did find that there was some lacking of two-way communications, otherwise known as walkie-talkies, at A&T. We met with, again, the security team, we met with the staff, and this recommendation is coming out of those meetings. So not only is this going to provide new walkie-talkies that work, it's also going to provide a repeater in the building to make sure that there is a strong enough signal throughout the building to ensure reliable communication with those devices.
And this was the repeater that we have already, we spoke about this before. No,
This is actually a
something new.
separate repeater than that of the city's repeater.
Got it.
Yep, this would just be local for our use. It's on a frequency that only we occupy.
Oh, nice.
The city operates on another frequency, so there won't be any interference.
Is there a time crunch regarding this? Is this something we need to move on ASAP? Did you want this for summer school?
Preferably with summer school in session, having that communication would be beneficial.
Understood. Trustees, you have heard our chief of staff and our partner from Oakland Schools. Dr. Green, did you have anything additional to add to this?
The only thing that I've asked the team to do is to ensure that we go out and survey all of the buildings that have the walkie-talkies and make this a district-wide initiative and not exclusive to that of Southfield A&T. So I just wanted to lift that in the conversation. If you see another report come up requesting that we use grant dollars for those buildings as well.
Understood. Trustees, you've heard the wish of our team. Is there a motion on the floor? And the impact to the district would be $20,595.97.
And that has actually been pre-approved by a grant through the state of Michigan.
Wonderful. To open and approve. It's been properly moved and supported. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Ware Duval. Yes. Myself, yes. Trustee Joyce.
Yes.
Trustee Holloway. Yes. Trustee Bland.
Yes.
Trustee Belk.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Motion carried. Thank you. Report 62-132, Adler installation of playground equipment. This is Von
That should be
Where's
Dan,
Dan?
if Dan is here this evening. Is Dan here with us this evening? If not, we can fill in for Dan. We know this verbiage as well. So TJ, if you'd like to join me in this. This is simply for the installation of the new playground equipment coming to Adler Elementary School this summer.
Okay.
So I don't know if Dan is with us today. They did have some vacation time scheduled, so I don't think he's here. But we've already pre-purchased the equipment. This is exclusively for the installation of the playground equipment, and we do ask that if it's the pleasure of the board, you move forward with that. The installation process right now is pushed out as far as September 1st, so we want to get on their docket to get the equipment installed before our scholars return.
Understood. Trustees, you've heard the ask of Dr. Green. It's been properly moved and supported. Are there any other questions or discussions regarding or surrounding 62-132 Adler installation of playground equipment? Hearing none, Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Belt,
Yes.
trustee Bland,
Yes.
trustee Holloway. Trustee Joyce.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Ware Duval. Yes. Unanimous.
Motion carried. Thank you all. Next is Report 62-133, ProCare Staffing 2024-2025 Special Education Expenditure.
Miss Angela Smith?
I'm so used to seeing Dr. Freeman come up for this one. I almost said, hey, Dr. Freeman.
Miss Angela Smith.
Ms. Smith? Yes, sir.
Dr. Green, going back to Adler 132,
Yes.
can we make sure that that's definitely done in September and not before?
Well, right now, their first date of installation is September 1st.
Okay,
so-
that's the reason why, because if not, that playground is highly used during the summer. And-
By our community.
Yeah.
We understand. So
that's-
we're trying to get on their docket, and it's based on their availability. So as of our Monday meeting, they did say that
So I don't want it to go out earlier because it'll be all used up, and then when the kids come back to school,
Well, it has a 10-year life expectancy, so we
Okay.
hope it doesn't get used up over the summer, but we do make notes of that.
it's pretty crazy crowd.
Yeah, the equipment's not coming in.
Crazy crowd.
Trustee Joyce. Yeah. So the equipment won't even be here until late July,
good.
and then we'll move forward with the installation, the beginning of August. But the one thing that I did want to lift regarding an earlier one, and I'll get back specifically to the agenda, is the installation of the Kennedy playground equipment is scheduled to start this week. So we're pretty excited about that.
Okay.
That's good. Ms. Smith?
Good evening, Board President, trustees, and
Good evening.
Superintendent. Today, I am here before you for informational items on a contract for ProCare Staffing, which is a third-party contract company that we use to provide assistance with our paraprofessionals to support our scholars in the Intensive Student Support Network. The impact of this staffing company is to support our scholars and the classroom teachers or the students' individual education programs.
I think you know what I'm gonna say.
I do.
Who we bring into our school is very important, especially our special needs babies. So if this staffing company cannot ensure that they're gonna bring us quality, then they're not good enough for us. I would like to make sure that there are the proper corrective actions in place so that we can avoid any instances where people who do not have the right temperament to be in with our scholars are being brought in. Unfortunately, if, we look to this group for recommendations. So, you know, if this group brings us this particular staffing company, again, I have to question, are you confident that they're gonna uphold their integrity? Because they have really special people in their hands.
Understood, Board President. I have had a conversation with the company, and there have been some processes and procedures put in place that will start to help correct the mishap, the unfortunate circumstances.
And what is our visibility at KLC? I like to hear about how we're feeling about who we have in that building right now. What do you need?
So the employee, what is it called?
Personnel action
Personnel
report.
action plan, thank you.
Yes.
Was just approved.
I saw it.
Therefore, I am pleased to say that we will welcome a new supervisor at Kennedy Learning
Awesome.
Center at the end of the month, I believe. And so I have had conversations with that individual regarding the staffing needs, their certified teachers, the paraprofessionals, the programs for the scholars to get out into the community and get those work skills that they need to be productive citizens in the community once they have reached that age of promotion.
And the new supervisor will bring with them some resources. It sounds like a breadth of knowledge.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you feel confident that this is a push in the right direction?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
And you would recommend that we open and approve report 62-133? Is that your recommendation? Is that your ask?
If it is the pleasure of the board, yes.
Trustee Smith-Thomas?
Board President,
Yes, sir.
when it comes to Kennedy, I know that there's a shortage of certified teachers there.
Don't say that.
Say that again?
Go ahead.
Am I out of line?
I'm listening.
Okay. Because I go there quite often. I know what's there and what's not, okay? I'm not sure if ProCare is the entity that solves that problem. I'm not sure if ProCare is bringing in certified or staff that's at that level.
Board President, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
So, to clarify, ProCare provides us support for substitute paraprofessionals,
Substitute,
not
right,
for that
right.
of the teaching staff.
Okay.
Also, in terms of our level of confidence, we did have one employee that was brought to us that did not meet our standards. So their ratio of high quality to non-quality quality has been much greater, but they also have put steps in place to ensure that we don't have any missteps along the way with the people that they screen that come before us. But also to your comment regarding the certification of the staffing, there are several individuals there that are operating under emergency certifications from the state while they are in alternative pathways to full teaching certification. So I think that sometimes the term certification gets misconstrued because there are multiple certifications having been issued by the state of Michigan.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
this is specifically for paraprofessionals.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anyone else? Trustee Smith-Thomas?
Thank you for providing that clarification, Dr. Green. Similar to before with the third-party agency that was being recommended for the BUSI program, I'm just going to ask, just as a blanket, that anytime we're bringing in a third-party agency, that we are looking at the trainings that they have as part of their onboarding and ensuring that even if they met their requirements, that they are also meeting our requirements as well.
Understood.
Dr. Green, is the request from you to open and approve this information item this evening?
Yes, ma'am, if it is the pleasure of the board.
You all have heard? Supported twice. It's been properly moved and supported. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Wirdavall?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Trustee Holloway? Trustee Bland?
Yes.
Trustee Belt?
Yes.
Unanimous?
Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Board President. And Ms. Smith is not moving because the
Oh,
next
you're
item
back.
is hers as well. One of the things we wanted to do was be proactive. We heard a lot this year regarding the limited number of occupational therapists and psychologists and physical therapists. So we want to ensure that we have a contract in place to support the scholars that will need that additional support where we have staffing shortages in those high-demand areas. So this is for OT and PT support services.
And will you speak about how that gets disseminated throughout the district? Is this strictly for KOC? I just want to make sure we have clarity for the community about who gets these services, and how that is determined, right? Because we've heard that there have been not the best of process when it comes to, and also continuity, right? And it was mainly because of a lack of people, right? We did not have the right people and there was a shortage. So could you explain how that works? Who will benefit from these services? Thank you.
Absolutely. So occupational therapists, OTs, physical therapists, PTs are the Staff Connections contractor company that we use. And those students that receive those are a part of their individual education program. And so there is a prescription for physical therapy that has to be provided by a doctor for students to get physical therapy, occupational therapy. There is an evaluation process, and those students qualify for both and/or one or the other through the individual education program evaluation process.
How do parents get notified if there's going to be a lapse in these services?
So it is the district's responsibility. So ultimately, ISSN, the Intense Student Support Network's responsibility to provide the parents with a letter indicating if there is not a staff member to support them. Therefore, the district, ISSN, provides tracks compensatory hours, which means that all of those hours that were per the IEP that were not provided, those students are still entitled to those when a occupational therapist, social worker, physical therapist, speech and language pathologist, any of those ancillary service providers are not available. Those compensatory services could be offered after school, during summer programming, things of that sort. And the parent and the district would meet to discuss how they would like to receive those services.
Okay. Any other questions surrounding this?
Ms. Smith, through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
So are those hours kind of banked, if you will?
Yes.
Okay. And your notification, if they're not individuals to handle those type of services, is that reviewed monthly, weekly, or?
So typically, we send that out immediately when we find out that that position is vacant. And we try to keep the families abreast. I wouldn't say weekly, maybe every couple months, if that position isn't filled. If it's filled, of course, we send out correspondence and say, hey, we got a new, whatever that ancillary staff provider service is, and here is what the district owes your student and the options of how that will be made up. And moving forward, that provider will continue to provide the services in addition to what was owed.
Are you asking that we make this
If it is
actionable?
the pleasure of the board, so that we can catch up on those compensatory services.
I wish I could say support. Anyone? So moved. It's been properly moved and supported to open and approve Report 62-134, Staff Connections. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Belk?
Yes.
Trustee Bland?
Yes.
Trustee Holloway?
Yes.
Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Wirdaball?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Motion carried. And so for those who did not and have some hours banked, we will be getting in touch with them as soon as possible.
So we have reached out to all the parents who were owed compensatory services for the speech and language pathologists.
Okay.
The two deficits that we had in the district. Those parents were given the option of virtually after school
Okay.
and/or during the summer. We do have almost 100 students coming to our summer programming, and not all of those are compensatory services.
Right.
I didn't want to shock you. But some of those students are part of those compensatory services, and we do have speech pathologists, licensed speech pathologists through the district that will be providing and making up those compensatory services this summer.
Understood.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Does that then look like an overtime situation when we're trying to catch up?
No, ma'am,
Okay.
because they are
Pay for
being
service.
paid through their services for summer school.
Good, thank you. Not overtime, thank you. No.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
You're welcome.
62-135, this is a every year thing, naming of professional services. You taking this one away, or?
Sure, I'll take it away.
Okay.
Naming of professional services, these are all of the individuals that we rely on for expertise. We have our bond counsel, we have our general counsel, we have our employment counsel, we have just about every counsel you can think of. All of them are listed on the report. We also have our partner with our owner's rep, Plant Moran Real Point. We have our construction manager. So all of the professional services that we use as a district, this is an annual report, and we ask that the board, if it's the pleasure, move forward so that we can continue the services.
Trustees, you've heard the request. We have our recommendation of Auditor Plant Moran, attorneys, the Allen Law Group, Clark Hill, Collins and Blaha, Miller Canfield, Troon Law Firm, architects are Fannie Howie and French Associates, construction manager is Barton Mallow, our financial advisor is PFM, and our owner's rep is Plant Moran Real Point. These are the professional services that are being asked for the 2024-25 school year.
I motion that we open and approve report 62-135.
It's been properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion surrounding these? Hearing none. Board Secretary, whenever you're ready, please call for the vote.
Trustee Belk?
Yes.
Trustee Bland?
Yes.
Trustee Holloway?
Yes.
Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Wirdaball?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Motion carried. Thank you. Naming of bank depositories. This is another one we do every year. Report 62-136. Southfield Public Schools, the superintendent recommends to the Board of Education the following depositories, and it's a long list. BNY Mellon, CIBC, Fifth Third Bank, Flagstar Bank, JP Morgan Chase, Michigan First Credit Union, Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, PFM, and US Bank. Trustees, are we willing to open and approve Report 62-136?
I motion that we open and approve report 62-136.
It's been properly moved and supported. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. Board Secretary, when you're ready, please call for the vote.
Trustee Holloway?
Yes.
Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Trustee Bland?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Wirdaball?
Yes.
Trustee Belk?
Yes.
She did you wrong.
Unanimous.
Motion carried. Financial report. Before we get to the financial report, I do apologize. During board matters, I did not mention to this community that normally in July, we take a sabbatical. And so we get a break and we have no meetings, no study session, and no regular board meeting as has been our practice. So my ask is there a motion on the table to take a 2024 July sabbatical for the Southfield Board of Education? Oh, don't everybody rush. Who's got what?
I support.
Okay. Okay, it's been properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none.
It's late.
Trustee Smith-Thomas? Yes.
I would just like to say to the community that to be aware that there are 2 seats open on the Southfield Public Schools Board of Education. So while we are off or may not be here, you may see some campaigning and some election kind of things happening throughout the summer. So just stay abreast, stay informed, make sure you understand the issues, make sure you understand who the candidates are, and what the candidates stand for. So you can go to our website if you would like to see which seats are up, and then continue to stay informed in the community so that you do know. And I do expect, as I certainly don't think this will not happen, but just for the record, that throughout the month that we are off, that we'll continue to receive our weekly updates, our emails, and all of that. So that's all I have.
Well, that was going to be my for the good of the order, but while you're all listening, I will say that the Southfield Lathrop Village Democratic Club is having a Run for School Board event. I will be there along with many other elected officials. It takes place Friday, July 12th, 2024, from 3:30 to 4:30. It is an informational session for Southfield and Lathrop Village residents on the roles and responsibilities of a school board member. It's taking place at Pebble Creek Park in Southfield. You may RSVP at Sharon Kelly 3434 at sbcglobal.net. For anyone who is interested in sitting in this seat, I do suggest you come out because I don't think anybody realizes the absolute job that this truly is. It's demanding. You're required to be here. It's a lot of reading, it's a lot of studying, it's a lot of work. And if you put your name on the ballot, please be prepared to do the work. And I think this session will actually lend to get some questions and to get some information that normally you will not get regarding the school board. So thank you to the Southfield Lathrop Dems for actually holding this. So, Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Belk?
Yes.
Trustee Ware Duval?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Bland?
Yes.
Trustee Holloway? Yes. Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Motion carried. Thank you all. Financial report and monthly bill disbursement. Treasurer Belt, did you have anything for us this evening?
Good evening, everyone. This is going to be really quick. I did have a chance to meet with Mr. Ingram. We have discussed this in closed session, but I just wanted to make sure that we did it for the public so they understand that we are fiscally responsible as a district. There are no outliers or no expenditures that I thought we needed to take a look at. However, I did ask for a report of grant dollars and to find out if we had any funding that would be returned. And just, I wanted to look at grant dollars overall. And I am happy to report that we received a very comprehensive grant dollar report. And I was very impressed to see that in the areas that there were potential for a return, it was things out of our control, out of the district's control. So I just wanted to report on that there was no outliers, no expenditures that we should be worried about with the upcoming budget. And I enjoyed my time with Mr. Ingram.
Thank you for that.
Board President.
Dr. Green?
Board Treasurer, I was contacted by Plant Moran to schedule the pre-audit planning session for the Office of the Superintendent, and then he will be contacting you as well to schedule time to meet with you for our fiscal year '24 audit to begin.
Thank you for that. For the good of the order, Dr. Green, I would like to lift the importance of having everyone get a seat at the table. We were able to hear a couple of things regarding staff involvement. I would like to see some action on those things. It's important because they're in the building every day. They're going to give us some input that we'll never get from anyone else except for the students, and the students have a different perspective. So I would like to ask that you follow up on that and let us know what comes on of it, and get with Mr. Rather to make sure that that is done.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Trustees, anything else for the good of the order? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Board President, we did hear from one of our PTA representatives regarding Black Music Legacy, the Black Music Celebration. I think it would be worthwhile to at least explore it, maybe at the school level, or if there's a school that would like to take on.
Pilot it.
Yeah, some type of initiative around this celebration. I think it would be a positive thing to expose, right, to expose our scholars to, and families to.
Sounds good. I definitely would support that. Dr. Green, would you please confirm that the master schedule for next year is available? The calendar is confirmed?
Yes, the calendar, the master
Calendar,
calendar for the
yes,
district. Yes, the
correct.
master calendar has been approved for the next 2 years, and we will have all of that uploaded.
When can our parents expect to find it and where?
It is on our district website, on the homepage, and I will verify that it is on there before close of business tomorrow.
So for everyone who wants to know what day the schools start, I'm trying to go out of town for Labor Day.
Well, I can tell them now the babies are due back on Monday, the 26th of August.
So we're coming back before Labor Day. Lauren.
Yes, we are. The only other thing that I ask that we lift is that we have a back-to-school fair. I know we
I
just
was
got
gonna-
out today,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But we have a back-to-school
pulling
fair
that up.
coming up on August 15th. Staff return on August 20th, and our scholars return on August 26th. So make the most of your summer because it is short in time.
Yes, yes. Also, Board President, one other thing, we did hear from transportation as it relates to the new feature with the GPS and all of that. If we can just make sure that we are communicating to our families to update all communication, all contact information, so they can receive timely and accurate information as it relates to transportation services.
Last but not least, I would like to commend the curriculum team on this comprehensive summer school. It's been quite a journey. Summer Caldwell Carruthers has answered every call and email under the sun. People fighting to get in this here summer school program, which is rare. For all the parents whose children are going to summer school, please check your email. The principal of summer school actually sent out a very comprehensive mailer. It lets you know your schedule, options, dismissal, electives, enhanced enrichment opportunities. There are reminders letting you know where the programs will take place. Y'all fought to get in here, so come on time. That's basically what it says. It doesn't say that, but I'm saying, please don't be tardy. There are kids who are fighting for these spaces. If you wanted your children in summer school, bring them during the allotted time and pick them up when summer school is over. Please don't disrupt the learning. So that's another thing. If you do have any questions, Ms. Baldwin, who is the principal of summer school, asks that you reach out to her secretary. If you open the email, all that information is there. They also include drop-off and pick-up logistics. I'm reading all of this because I know sometimes we don't like to read the whole message, so I'm gonna help y'all out with the Cliffs Notes. Drop-off and pickup logistics are in this email. The dates of summer school are in here. Summer school begins on June 25th. It ends on August 2nd. For those of you who have bridge students, though, understand that Camp Invention will run at the same time as Bridge, and there will be more communication coming out of that, about that. There are 2 release times for summer school. If you did not respond to your emails and choose a release time, your children need to be picked up by 1:30. If you responded and selected 3:30, come then. If you didn't, don't come up in here at 3:30 talking about, well, I didn't know. Well, you should have found out because it was sent out. Seriously, we don't want people who are supposed to be there at 3:30 getting bombarded because there are people who are supposed to be picked up at 1:30. This team has worked really hard to staff this program well. Please respect their time, their energy, their hard work. This is a service that not every district offers for free. The other thing is transportation. If you indicated that you need transportation, bus routes will be updated in MyStar. You have to go in MyStar to get your bus routes by June 21st. If you don't see them, please contact us. We'll help you out. Please remember, you must be a Southfield or Lathrop Village resident to receive bus transportation for summer school. Bus transportation is provided for both the 1:30 and 3:30 dismissal times. Parent View, to Trustee Smith-Thomas' point, there is a link to the Parent View flyer. That is the way that you can track your child's bus. Please use it. We really want to hear your feedback. Let us know if it works. Let us know if it doesn't work. But look at the flyer so you can get the instructions to learn how to use it. Y'all asked for this stuff. We're giving it to you. Use it. Discipline. Oh, let's read this one. Students will be fully engaged in active, high-quality instruction. We anticipate all students will behave in appropriate manner for school. If a scholar is consistently disruptive to the learning atmosphere, then they will need to be removed from the remainder of the program. I'm going to go a step further. Parents, if you decide to consistently be disruptive to the learning atmosphere, you will be removed for the remainder of the program. Supplies and materials. SPS is providing the materials. Basically, you don't need to send anything. They're going to give headphones. You're going to get limited screen time. If your child has a preference, they may bring their own headphones. The items that they receive will remain at school for the duration of the 5 weeks. Your children should not be bringing those things home. They're going to remain at school. Oh, attire. Let's talk about the dress code. Please ensure students wear comfortable, modest clothing. She's so nice, modest. Please ensure students wear comfortable, modest clothing suitable for warm weather during summer school. Please wear gym shoes daily to participate. Flip-flops and slides are not permitted. I always tripped when I ran after somebody in a flip-flop during the summer, and I always had that big scab on my knee. It was really horrible. Prohibited items include clothing with offensive language, belly shirts, halter tops, tube tops, excessively short shorts, mini skirts, and flip-flops and slides. I think Dr. Green called it midriff. So for those of y'all, belly shirts and midriff are the same thing. It just depends on your generation. Breakfast and lunch will be provided. I did not. I said it depends on your generation. Breakfast and lunch will be provided every day of the summer program. This is a really extensive program. I hope that parents realize this really is not provided in every district. So please respect the teachers, please respect the staff, and we look forward to everybody having a great summer. I think I covered everything in the summer school bill. Does anybody have anything else for the good of the order?
Through the chair. I just want to say congratulations to our KLC, our graduates, our special learners who have graduated this 2024 school year, to the staff that supported them on the morning of their graduation, Ms. Alston, Ms. Smith, Dr. Freeman back there. Thank you so much in celebrating our students in that way as well.
For the good of the order. Hearing none. Future meetings, June 20th, Committee of the Whole, and June 25th, Truth and Taxation, and then we are out of school for the summer.
Did we ever take the vote on the sabbatical? Yes, we did.
We took the vote, we took that vote.
I know somebody supported.
And then we have a study session on June 25th. This meeting is adjourned at 9:14. Thank you all.
Thank you.